Oh, and for a quick lesson on how it's done, Dwayne Hicks knows what it's all about.
No proper time of day.
Alright, so very quickly, I just want to kind of tell you about not only why I collect imports, especially Japanese imports as well as American titles, but why I shelve them the way I do. And I think there's a couple of interesting things in here that might surprise you. One thing you might notice here are all the UPC codes down there. I hate that. So especially if there's title after title going through here, and then there's a couple of UPC codes, and there's a couple of UPC codes. And man, screw that. Get them all in one pile. So that's it. That's the only set of UPC code Genesis games I've got. So they're pretty much going to stick together, front to back. So that's idea number one. I don't know if calling it an idea is fair, but things like this, that's the renovation collection. I've only got like 2 or 3 more to go. So that was a wish, that was a goal that I set years ago to get all those. All I have left is like Arcus Odyssey and El Viento, I think one more, and I'm ready to go. Anyway, you'll also notice I have all my reds from front to back, all together as best as I can. That surprised some people actually when I shared some of these videos earlier. There's a couple of folks I've talked to out in the UK that were surprised I was putting everything in the same color pattern like that. Like, what's that for? Putting alphabetical order. Have you gone mad? It's like, well, no, they're kind of color-coded, and that's basically it. They look better on a shelf that way. And an online friend took that idea, and he just took all of his blue Mega Drive games, but they're all blue out there, not red, and put them all on a shelf together, and it looked hot. Really, really nice. Well, similar to the UPC code thing, I'll go to the top. So, for instance, I keep the EA games with the EA games. I do my best to keep the Konami games with the Konami games. I do my best to keep the silver Genesis at the bottom together, as opposed to the white ones all together. And little organizational tactics like that. I mean, for instance, those are very similar and look the same, so some of them get mixed up. You know, there's Sega, there's Capcom, and then there's Sega again. But for the most part, I do my best. There's all Acclaim, you can see right there. So that's part of the point. That's usually one of the final steps in deciding where I'm going to put them. Other than that, you'll look at the top of these. Those are Japanese Mega Drive games. And I have a nice little set of those over there. Finish up down around here. I'm leaving room because I know there's going to be some more down there and some more of those renovation titles. Something else I've done recently is rather than having all the Dreamcast games, you know, all the black ones on one side, all the white ones on the other, just mixing them up one after another like that kind of adds a bit of depth and, I don't know, a cool aspect of the shelf, I think. And again, when I first laid eyes on import Japanese games like Fighting Vipers, this was the first one I got. And just seeing this clear, candy-colored, explosive kanji everywhere, and just a different setup, a different style, a different culture in my hands. I got a big kick out of it, and I just had to have more. Mega Man 8 or Rockman 8's another one. I also really liked the design from the Wipeout series, especially with Designers Republic. I mean, it just, my God, this could have come out yesterday and it would fit and it would work. So this was in the mid 90s, so this was extraordinarily exciting, and I just had to be a part of it. You know, I just realized that they're on video all the time, but I have not yet properly introduced the cats. And this guy here, playing hard to get. This is Rudiger. Good German name, Rudiger. We call him Rudy for short. Can you say hello? There we go. Yeah, the one licking the faucet, his name is Dwayne Hicks, just like the guy above him. Now, when we're talking about Japanese Mega Drive games as opposed to American Genesis games, for example, we'll take Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Yeah, we've all seen that, right? Looks okay. Looks very North American. Well, what about the Japanese version? I'm already telling you, that's way better. Way more attractive. Way more colorful. Much more pop. That's example number one. Another example could be Echo the Dolphin 2, The Tides of Time. Now that doesn't look too bad. You know, Genesis got pretty good box art. Good looking Genesis game, red box, I like it. But how about the Japanese version? Holy hell. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I think I'd rather have this one, please. It's just, this goes on for lots and lots of titles. maybe 2% of the North American box art beats the Japanese box art. So again, it's just exciting, and it's just got a lot more allure to it. I mean, come on, really? Look at that. Versus the American copy? Oh my goodness gracious. This is high art compared to that. So it's a treasure to me, no pun intended. And then there's Phantasy Star.
It's really the lady I need to thank for the whole Mega Drive thing. She started it. She bought me Ranger X and Gunstar Heroes, Sega Mega Drive. And after having those in my possession, I just had to keep growing and growing and growing. So, thanks, honey.
Oh, this is very nice. But what am I supposed to do with this game stuff you have taken out?
Bay 12, please.
Ah, that's a good relic right there. The Abe's Odyssey bottle opener from E3 1998. It's good to keep stuff. Do you know how I got all these pins for this hat? I told myself to keep collecting.